Welcome back, everybody, to the Centimetre Perfect AFL podcast, just the tips edition. That is Jesse. I am Liam, and we are back to tip our round 12 games. You can find us at CMPerfect_AFL on Insta, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon for our main podcast, YouTube for everything. We're all there, we're all here, all the time. Jesse, how are you feeling about this round coming up? The first, well, not the first at all, but the first of the next set of bye rounds. They've begun.
It's one of my favourite times of the year. We roll out of gimmick rounds. We get a few weeks of normalcy. We hit Sir Doug Nicholls rounds, which are always fantastic. And then, like a dead bin chicken hitting a window, we go smack into the bye rounds, and everyone's sad.
Everyone's sad. Less footy to watch, Jesse, but easier for us to tip with our confidence points system, some might say. Jesse, explain to the lovely people how we do our tips here.
So confidence points are our way of assigning weight to our tips throughout the season. Instead of just getting 1 point per tip correct throughout the round, we assign based on our levels of confidence. So we assign the team we are most confident in winning, in this case 7 points, being there's 7 games this round, least confident all the way down to 1. Whoever has the most confidence points at the end of the season will be declared the winner, irrespective of the amount of correct tips they've got. It's all about the points and how you score them.
That's right. I know what you did there, and I nearly continued the song.
Thank you.
Okay. Well done. Now, last week was interesting because we both tipped the exact same teams throughout the entire round. It all came down to who was to lose as to who would come away the victor in the spoils for the round. And the points worked out like this.
Look at that.
I clawed a few points back, Jesse. Plus 35 for me, taking me to 293. You got 32, taking you to 302. Back to 9 points the difference for me. I needed a bit of a comeback because I had a couple of shockers.
You know in those blowout NBA playoff games when like the designated 3-point shooter hits one late in the fourth to cut it back to 18?
Mm-hmm. That's what this is?
Yep.
I'll be the designated 3-hitter. Lord knows I wasn't that when I used to play basketball. Not a chance.
You don't strike me as a mobile or anything. Maybe like...
Hey, in my younger days, I was a bit more mobile than I am now.
Maybe like Celtics era Shaq.
Hey, I'll take that. You can like me to Shaq all you like. I used to post up like crazy. That was my role. That's what I did. Anyway.
John Stockton for me.
Oh, that makes sense.
Bit of class.
Yeah, bit of class. All right, let's move on to the games. Enough chitter chatter. Jesse, kick us off. Thursday night.
Starting at Thursday Night Football. Hey, look, Essendon are here on a Thursday night. But thankfully, so is a good team. Brisbane hosting Essendon on Thursday night at the Gabba. Now, Liam, this is actually something I'm not really familiar with doing here, but as the person with the least amount of points last week, I get to decide whether to kick off or whether to boot it over to you. I am going to start first here. Lions with 6 for me. I did ask before we started the recording of this, or before we came on and did our take, if I could assign 7 points to 2 games.
Yep.
I actually would like to assign 100 points to this game if I can for Brisbane. There is no chance. Like, let's just call it as it is. There is no chance.
And it's saying something because no chance, and it's not your most confident of the points.
Yes.
Nor is it mine. I've gone Brisbane with 5. I don't think there's much more to say about this game. I think if Essendon can somehow pull this off,
or at least keep it close.
I will be very, very surprised and enthralled watching my Thursday night footy. Nothing more to say. Let's move on, Jesse, to the next game on Friday.
Friday night. Now, this is a game, Collingwood versus Hawthorn. 2 teams expected to be in the finals picture later in the season, but the Hawks are coming in off 2 consecutive defeats. They need to reverse that against a rampant Magpies. Liam, you're up first here. Which team in the bird spectrum are you siding with for our Friday night blockbuster?
Well, if you ask me, Jesse, and you listen to our podcast proper, they're both the Magpies. They're both the Crows to me, I should say. I can't tell the difference.
What they are.
I don't know what they are. This is a funny one because for me, looking the way that the games have kind of run out this round, this is my lowest confidence point game. Because given the fact that Magpies are in amazing form and the Hawks are on a little bit of a slump, granted they've been playing some very tough competition, it's hard to tip against the Pies. But I'm not sure. So I've only got the Pies with 1. I think potentially should be more, but just the way that the rest of the games have gone, Jesse, I can't give it more than 1. I can't get more than one. And also, I'd like to see the Hawks maybe just pop that balloon a little bit for the Magpies there. Jesse, your thoughts?
Yeah, Collingwood one for me as well. I think in a round of games where, I don't want to say this, but I think there's some easy games in here from a tipping point of view. This is not one of those. I do think Collingwood have the edge. They're in better form at the moment. But the Hawks need to respond. And this is a team that likes this type of environment. Big crowd, big occasion, all eyes on them. They will want to respond. So going with Collingwood with one, but I do get the sense that this game could and hopefully will go down to the wire.
Fingers crossed, Jesse. Fingers crossed. Let's move on to Saturday.
Over at People First Stadium on the Gold Coast, the Suns host the Dockers in the Sam Collins Cup. Whoever wins gets to shove him in their suitcase at the Coolangatta Airport, bring them with you. Could also call it the Michael Barlow Cup if you wanted to, or the Harley Bennell Cup. Let's stick with the Sam Collins Cup. I'm up first here. Suns with 3. They're a better side than Fremantle. They play people first better than Fremantle. The Suns seem to beat people first. Seem to beat Fremantle like people first when the Suns are bad, but now the Suns are good, which means the Suns going to set on Fremantle.
Hey.
And the Sun. Suns.
Yeah. Suns for me too.
No father sons though.
No father sons. Not yet. Give it time.
Sorry, I don't mean to upset. Can you hear Andrew Bassett? Is he coming? No, he's not. Okay. Sorry, we can continue recording.
Next week he'll come. Gold Coast Suns with 2 for me. Good to see Freo back up what they've been doing so far for the next little bit. We've just learnt, as of now, that Pierce is somehow got off his suspension of 3 weeks, which is unreal. Neither of us thought that was going to happen.
So that's because Ben King will only kick 4 now instead of 7.
Hey,
so that's nice.
That's 3 less goals we have to worry about. That's fantastic. No, the Suns should be too good for the Dockers this year, especially at People First Stadium. All I'm looking for is Freo to actually back up what they've been doing, keep that going, and hopefully I can be happy on Saturday. Jesse, let's move on to the next game.
GWS hosting Richmond at NG Stadium. The Giants need to continue churning out wins. They want to go 3 in their last 4 here with a result, but the Tigers, they're doing okay themselves. They're keeping their heads above water in what was destined to be a bottom 4 season. Liam, what are you going with here?
Look, I think the Tigers are always going to show some fight, but the Giants with 6, like realistically speaking, I don't think if the Giants lose this, it's going to be a very, very confusing day because everyone's had them tipped and pegged, and they have the talent to be one of the best teams in the competition this year. They haven't really shown that. If you can't beat the Tigers, then what are you even doing here? And they should pull a massive crowd at NG, maybe 7,000, maybe 6,000. We're sure to find out.
Maybe 13,400.
Maybe. I don't think so. We'll see. Yeah, not much to say, Jesse. What are your thoughts?
I agree, but I disagree. I agree in the sense of going with the Giants. I disagree in the sense that I really am still big question mark over the sides. I've got Giants with 2.
Wow.
This is exactly the type of game at the moment the Giants are struggling with.
Wow.
Against sides they should be beating. They lost the Battle of the Bridge to Sydney. I think the Tigers are actually a better side than Sydney right now.
Interesting.
Look, they should win. You're absolutely right. They are the most likely result here. But I'm not willing to dive in the deep end on them as you are. I don't like the brand of football the Giants are playing at the moment, or at least I don't like what they're churning out over a rolling 6-week period at the moment. They're not doing it with any level of consistency. They have to win this game, but it's these must-win games they haven't been winning. With the exception of the Geelong game, they've struggled when the pressure's been on.
Interesting. Look, I'll be glad to see it. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, that'd be insane. Let's move on to the next game, Jesse. Oh, if I click the right button. There we go.
Sydney hosting the Adelaide Crows at the SCG. I did ask Liam after my quip about whether I can assign 2 teams 7 points, if I can assign 3 teams 7 points, and he said no. So I've had to stick with Adelaide with 5. If I could assign Adelaide 100 points here, I would.
Whoa.
That's all I'm going to say.
You could just divvying out points left, right, and centre. 100 points, you'd be up by many points.
I just want to extend my margin.
That's fair. That's understandable. Adelaide with 4 for me. Again, just kind of how the points worked out. Crows should win this. They're too good for the Swans. Let's move on. Not much more to say. The SCG is still that kind of that little carrot. I said that
because they're not playing well. They're not playing well.
Carlton. They're Carlton too. And I said, and you were like, no. And they won. So now that,
Yeah,
that,
but look at
that little
Carlton.
doubt is still there. It's fine.
That's like
Adelaide was
saying, I don't like cake, and then you eat fruit cake. So, well, what do you expect?
Fair enough. Let's move on.
Not lemon cake, though. I can get behind lemon cake.
Lemon cake's good, yeah.
Melbourne hosting St Kilda up in Alice Springs. Such a good opportunity for Melbourne to connect with their home away from home up in Alice. It's always a well-attended game, and the locals in Alice Springs do really get behind it. It's always fantastic to see footy go up to the top end. Missed opportunity, though, for this not to be in St Doug Nicholls round.
Yeah, big time.
Big missed opportunity.
Big time.
You're up first here, Liam. How are you divvying out the points here?
Melbourne with 3. Again, probably could have gone higher, but the Demons are on a bit of a streak at the moment. Obviously, that one blemish in the middle of the last 5. But you like what they're doing at the moment. They've found some fire, and it's nice to see them playing some good footy as a team again, which looked like it wasn't going to be the case at the start of the season. And yeah, they've really come good. And then there's the Saints.
Yeah.
Yep. Jesse?
D's with 4 for me. This does have Ross Lyon special written all over it.
It does, yeah.
And I'm conscious of that. Look, Melbourne are probably due a bad one because I still don't think they're very good. Like in the grand scheme of things, I don't think they're very good. But they're in better form. It's hard to tip against them when you look at that win-loss column in recent weeks for these two sides. St Kilda desperately need a hard reset because Wagan and Miller are still not signed. Tick-tock. You want to keep the guy that's going to be crucial to your rebuild. Tick-tock, because you're not signing Bond. So you need to start showing something. And this is as good an opportunity as they're probably going to get the Saints to do that. They've already blown it against West Coast, so you got to look for teams around you in the ladder to go and make a statement against. Melbourne, though, going well, although they were pretty bad last year when they went to Alice against Fremantle. They were quite bad.
That was a shocking game for them. Well, I guess proof will be in the pudding. We'll see you on Sunday. Let's move on to the last round of the oh my word, last game of the round, Jesse. Jeez Louise, here we go.
Sunday night football at Optus Stadium, West Coast hosting Geelong. For those unaware, it is a public holiday in WA on the Monday. Hence, the AFL has decided that they can schedule a game on the Sunday night, which doesn't really suit the Victorians. And I actually don't think it's a very good decision, to be honest. It's a weird time for them, 7:40 on a Sunday.
It does mean though that we get to break up the Sunday a little bit, which is nice.
That is true. That is very true. In terms of tipping though, West Coast Geelong, two sides at different ends of the ladder. You're up first here, Liam, or am I? You're up first.
I honestly don't think it matters, Jesse.
No. You go.
3, 2, 1. Geelong
West Coast
with 7.
You didn't do the bit that I was going to do. Come on, Liam. Geelong with 7.
Yeah. I think it's a foregone conclusion, this one. But, hey, you never know in this great game what can happen.
You know, if we both actually did the West Coast bit, I would have made us stick to that. If we both did West Coast with 7, I was going to do.
just have to roll with it?
Then that would have been it. And you know what? They would have won 2.
You reckon?
Harry Edwards' legacy game.
Fair shout. Jesse, that's it. That's round 7. Round 12 done, 7 games. And you can tell we're at the end of the recording session because I can't get my words right. Hot dog. Send everyone home, please.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning into our quick edition of the Just the Tips on the Centimetre Perfect AFL podcast. Let us know who you're tipping for the week in the comments below. Don't be afraid to assign some confidence points either. You won't win the competition, but at least you can have fun. So very much the Liam approach to how we do tipping here. Enjoy your football weekend. Enjoy your long weekend if you're a West Australian like us. And we'll see you next time on the Centimetre Perfect AFL podcast.
Bye, everybody.
You're an idiot.